Hi there, welcome back. So I've had a couple of people ask about fountain pen videos. I don't really know what they're looking for. They weren't very specific other than just some fountain pen things. So I thought that I would share. I'm going to clean these two pens out and just kind of talk, I guess, about like some of the things that I use when I'm cleaning my fountain pens and how I clean them. Generally, I do clean them at the sink. I have a tray with a couple of rags on it to put them on. And these are some tools that are drying right now, but actually this one is still got some ink in it. But so I take them completely apart usually, or the ones that I can to clean. I use a bulb syringe. I want to get the Shown Designs tools, but I'm hoping that I can meet them at a pen show and check out the Monarch nib and maybe get a set there before I order. If I can't find a pen show, if I can't make it to a pen show that they're going to be at this year, then I will probably order online, but the nib is quite expensive and I kind of want to try it before, so I don't know. I believe it's made out of titanium. It's a pricier nib. This pen might be a pain to clean. I'm not really sure. I had a hard time cleaning it last time, but it's a vac fill. So it's a little different than this one. And vac fills, I have learned, are not my favorite. So you unscrew this little end and then you pull it up. So as you pull it up, it kind of unlocks there's a little plunger down here that stops the ink from flowing down into the feed and nib. And so you pull it, and then you push it. And as you push it, it's how you fill it as well. So as you push it, it pushes the ink out. And then to fill it, you just do the same. You pull the plunger back out, push it in, and it will fill. So I don't know, but this one, okay, I get screwed back in. This one has been the hardest pen I have found to clean, but it's also my only vac fill. So I don't know. I have another one coming, and I don't know, we'll see. So I usually have 2 things of water, a clean one and a dirty one, and I do that, but see, then I've just sat here and pushed all of my dirty water down into my clean water. So this is just like a tedious act. And this one just keeps screwing itself in. It has like a whole lot of green ink. So what I'm going to do is take it apart. So you can just unscrew the nib. And so my favorite thing to do is take everything apart and then take it to the sink and just flush it all out, because it's a lot easier. But this one, I'm going to take this nib out because I'm replacing it, putting the old nib back in. I was going to see if I could remove the housing, the feed, but I don't know. I don't really know how this one comes out. It doesn't feel like it's coming out. So I was going to see if I could put this nib in my other feed, but I don't know. And then for my nibs that I'm not using, I store them in these little vials, these little sample vials. so they're protected. But yeah, I was going to try to pull it out and put everything in this, because this is actually made for this pen. So I thought that I might do that, but I can't really, I don't know. I'm scared. I don't want to break it. So I'm just going to put this nib back in here, and I'm going to find another use for this pen, for this nib. I love the nib, but I definitely need to try a different housing for it, or different pen for it. Let me go rinse my water out, and I'll be right back. Alright, so let's try this way. So generally, I have one a little fuller, because I'm going to take from this one and put into this one. I'll show you what I mean. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get this cleaned out here. I may have to take it to the sink. This one's kind of, like I said, I don't really want to stick it down in my water again until I get it most of the way clean, because it's just going to ink my water back up. But I am going to show you. So with a nib, what I generally do is I take from my clean, and I like a bulb syringe, but this is what the Schon designs. He has little plungers that go on, they fit on the end of these nibs, and it's just a very efficient way to clean. But what you want to do is force, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this in frame. So you want to force the water slowly down through the nib. And if you push hard on the water, you're going to get wet, or you're going to get everything around you wet. This one's pretty clean. Most of the green came out pretty quickly. So I just try to rinse the feed and the nib really well. And then there's just like this little nubby thing right there. And you just want to stick your bulb syringe on that. And then it will actually, yes, it's capillary action, will just force the water through it. It's what happens with your pen to begin with. But I kind of force a little bit through. And sometimes you can see some residual color. But for the most part, this one is clean. So I'm going to lay it over on my dry rag to dry. And I'm going to clean out this little section. Oh wow, I just made myself a green inky mess. I should have ran that the other way. Alright, it's okay. So, once you get that clean, again, it's just kind of making sure everything, all the ink is off of everything and cleaned out the best of your ability. Most of the time you're not going to get it all cleaned out, sadly. That's just how it is. But I am a creature of, I like to disassemble my pens. I do not like to try to sit here and suck up water. This pen, or this nib should be, no, it might still be a little, yep, it's dirty. So see, that's kind of the problem, and see how I'm squirting it all over me. But even when you think your pens are clean, they're not always clean. And I cleaned this nib before I put it up. And it still has ancient copper in it. So it's just a process. It takes some time. You got to be patient. And once you see your water running clear, it's still not clean. But I usually will take and squirt off the feed and the little breather hole on the nib, just to try to make sure you're getting all the little crevices. And then I always go back one more time and kind of fit it back on that little nub. and push some more water through. And you're just looking for clear water to come through, which it is now. So maybe it's clean, maybe it's not. But this, on the other hand, I don't really know if anybody has any other ways. The problem is I can get this clean. There's this little tiny area right back here behind the plunger. I can't get it clean. I have no idea why. But I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go empty this water again. It just got too full. Okay, we're gonna start with a little less water in that one this time, just because it fills up so quickly. But I'll show you what happens and why I like to have at least a little bit of water in this. This one, if anybody knows how to clean these pens better than me, please share, because it doesn't matter. I've tried. But yeah, see, the ink just keeps filling back up back there, so. And it won't, like, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I just don't like this pen. I'm just here to tell you. Drives me crazy. Okay, anyway, I'll take it to the sink and work on that one. So I'll show you this one. I enjoy cleaning much better. Alright, so I always clean out the cap. I just usually give it a good rinse. There's a little bit of ink up in there. And then, so like I said, I am a creature that likes to disassemble her pens. This one should be clean on this end. It is. There's nothing up in there. So we're just going to get it out of the way. Alright, so my recommendation is to squirt your ink out first before you start disassembling. But that's why I like to have a little bit of water down here, because when you start pushing your ink out, which I guess there's not really any in there. But you can't really see. See the bubbles that are coming out? Maybe you can see the bubbles like right here. So ink will come out right there, and what you want to do is, we'll just do this. So when it starts coming out and dripping, you want something, because if there's just glass down there, it's going to splatter. So you're going to have ink splatter, and it will splatter everywhere. You're going to have ink everywhere. I mean, so I like to have a little bit of water down in here to catch that. But again, then I just take my pens apart. And I basically do the same thing. So I'm going to turn the converter, which the converters usually clean pretty quickly. There's a little bit of gray residue in there. I'm going to force that out. I'm going to do it one more time. It's pretty much clean. And then last, I pull my piston all the way back up, and then I push it out again to get any like extra water. It'll just put some air behind it, and it'll get some of that extra water out. And then I leave mine screwed down because there's less area to dry. It pushes everything down, and then I just leave it for 24 hours or so, and it'll be dry. Nib. With Yovo nibs, you can unscrew this and take it all apart. You're going to get inky. First, I tend to do the same thing and just pop this little bulb syringe down in there and force all that lovely ink out. Don't squeeze too hard or you'll be wearing ink, as well as everything around you will be wearing ink. But see, it's pretty much coming clear now. So when I get to that point, I will take my nib apart. And sometimes, so these you can pull them out, or they also unscrew with these Jovo nibs. But I'm not getting a good grip. There we go. So take that off. And there is like this little bitty rubber piece. Be careful not to lose that. I should always push it back up. So then this piece is usually fairly clean. You can, like I did the other one, just run a little bit of clean water through it. And then set it aside to dry. And then I do the same thing with my nib here. Pop it on the end of that and just run this clean water through until it's clear. And then I just take a couple of times, squirt everything off. To me, this is just a lot quicker to clean your pens instead of sucking water up into it, pushing water back out, sucking water up into it, pushing it. It just takes so long. And you recontaminate your water every time, basically. If you have any ink on your nib, your clear water will no longer be clear. So, and then like I mentioned, these also completely pull apart, but that's just up to you. You can take it out. Maybe I've had a couple of these out, but I don't really like to do it. I just take them out and leave them in the housing. You can pull the nib out. It's not coming out. I'm not going to force it. I don't know. This is the broad. Yeah, I haven't had this one out yet. I've had my medium out to clean it with shimmer ink. But, I mean, that's basically it. So, make sure your little rubber piece gets pushed back up there. And then I just let everything set 24 hours at least. So I'm going to rinse this out while I'm here. But yeah, there's just a little bit of ink up there in the top. Alright. That one's all clean. And see, that one, like, no time at all. It really doesn't take that long. If you have shimmer or some harder inks in it, it might take a while. I don't know. I have no clue what to do with this pen. But yeah, if you can see this ink that's back here, all it does is, like, when I push down, it just flings it all back here. So I can dump it out, which is what I do several times, and rinse it, but it doesn't matter. Like, every time that ink stays back there, it's just so hard to clean. So I'm gonna go run it under some water, see if I can get it clean. I hope you weren't drinking that. I should have known better. Dang cat. Cat contaminated everything. Okay, so I got it, for the most part, cleaned out. Just took a couple seconds under running water. But the problem is that little ring right there. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's gunked up green and also still some from the last time I inked it. So that's what I don't know how to get out of there. So I'm going to put some pen flush down in it and let it set. That's what I did last time. It got some of it out, but it didn't get all of it. So, and I'm allergic to this stuff, so I can't let it touch my skin. Alright, so I have about half of the thing. And then I have a little, well, I guess I don't have it anymore. I had a little cup, but right now I'm just going to put that, and I'm going to put the lid on it so the cat doesn't lick it. I don't need any part of that because this is like ammonia. So I got this from Goulet Pens. It's their pen flush. I don't know if it's any better than any other ones. It cleans fine. I generally just use some Dawn dish soap and that works best. But I actually ordered some Tom Studios pen flush. It's supposed to be here today with my new pen. So we'll see if I like that one better. Once this one's soaked, I usually let them soak. You can let them soak overnight, but I don't know, you know. I don't know how good it is for the pen. And I know there are some pens you can't use pen flush with, so I guess that's just, oh, didn't realize there was water still in there. But you can get pen flush. There are a few different companies. I've had that bottle from Goulet for a while. It doesn't take much. I usually just soak nibs in it though. I have like a little container that came with it. It's just a little vial, and you just put a little bit in it, and then you soak your nibs in it if you have something that's hard to clean. So usually that's all I do, because it says not to put like some, I don't know if it was acrylic but it can harm some pens, so you got to be careful with what you use it on. But I mean, I don't want to mess this pen up. Steven got it for me for Christmas, but also if I can't get it clean, I can't use it. I'm not going to contaminate and have some funky stuff growing in my pen. So that's just, but that's basically it. I mean, that's the easiest way to clean pens. Now I will say that I have a lot of hard to clean pens, but anything that is a cartridge converter pen, they're usually super easy to clean. Now, not all of them will come apart. Like this one, I don't know if the nib comes out of this one. I don't know that I'll even try, but it needs to be cleaned. But it will come apart. So at least the cartridge converter will come out of it. So you can take that apart and clean it that way, and then just flush the bottom part with the bulb syringe. And I mean, you can get the bulb syringe at Walmart for like $2. The ones from Shown Design are pretty expensive, so I'm not sure, but I think they were like $20 a piece, or maybe $10 a piece. And they have one for Lamy. I think they have one for the Yovo nib. They have one for Pilot. So they have several different ones, but I definitely want to pick those up, at least the ones that I own, or the ones that I have the most of. I don't know that I'd even worry about getting Pilot one. I only have 2 Pilot pens that I use, and I wouldn't get the Lamy one because I only have the Lamy 2000 and it won't even work on it. So at least those 2 I wouldn't need. So I mean, yeah, just look and see if that's something that you would be interested in. They're really neat. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if there's something else you guys would like to see, I can always, I mean, inking pens, I'm not your typical, I do not like to stick my nib down in a bottle of ink. I syringe fill 99% of my pens. The only pen that I don't syringe fill is my Lamy 2000. And that's because it's the only, I have it, it's just dedicated to that one bottle of ink, so I'm not worried about it. I use the same ink and same pen every time. So, but the rest of them I syringe fill. I don't like sticking my nib down. I don't like having to clean it off. It's always just a hassle for me. So in the instance that you fill a pen with a syringe, you will have to leave it like nib down so you can prop it up on something or put it in a pen case or something for a few minutes. Most of my pens usually work pretty quickly because, again, that's what it's designed to do, is push the ink down through the feed. So most of them work, but I have had a few that I've had to prime. So if you're going to prime a nib, what you'll do is you're going to just turn your, so once your converter's full of ink, so mine doesn't have any in it right now, but what you'll do is you'll just turn it very slowly until you see just a little bit of ink bubbling right up here on the feed. So you have to do it real slow because you'll end up with ink everywhere if you do it quickly. But that's my preferred method. You just take this off, squirt your ink down in it with the syringe, pop this on. You can prime it a little bit and then put everything back together and leave it nib down for about 5 or 10 minutes. Usually by then, this is the only pen I've ever had to keep priming and then I had to dip it. It would not write for some reason, but every other pen I've ever owned will write within a couple of minutes, so not usually a big deal. But that's how I syringe fill all of my pens. I don't think I have any that I don't, other than my Lamy, which I don't necessarily have to. I can syringe fill my Lamy too, and I think I actually did the last time because I just like took it apart and filled it up instead of cleaning it out because I didn't want to rinse it and clean it and refilled it. So yeah, but that's basically it. If you have any like specific questions on specific pens, how to clean them, I'd be happy to do that if I have the pen. I have a lot of different kinds of pens, but there are a lot I don't have, so I'm working on that. I have a new pen coming today, and I'm super excited to get to try it and see what color it winds up being. It's a variant, so I don't really know what it's gonna look like until it gets here. I'm scared, but yeah, I can't really think of anything else that people might want to know. I mean, unless you have a specific pen question, because I can tell you a lot about TWSBIs. I've owned TWSBIs for 8-9 years. I've had TWSBIs. Those are the longest pens I've owned. And I've had my Lamy Safari AL. What is it? Lamy All-Star? I think I've inked it one time. I don't like that pen. I don't like the grip section, so I don't really use it, but I know pretty much how it works. So that pen I've had for a long time. 2018, 2019. I got a pen show. And then, yeah, just all the pens that you've seen here. So, but if you have a specific question, I'd be happy to ask it or do a video on it. I do have a few videos. Stay out of the ink, man. You can't lick it. It's not for you, kitty. Did you give him a show earlier? Yeah, I don't, like I said, unless you have like a specific pen question. But I do have like some little hacks that I keep meaning to film. I should have done that today. I guess I still could. I don't have any cartridges though that I need to cap, but I can show you what I do. Yep, this one. Oh, I've only got one in here. So I don't do this a lot, but I do this, and I have had a question about it before, so I'll show you real quick. Maybe I can peel this off and redo it. We'll see. Let me get my glue gun. Okay. So the only pen that I do this with anymore is my Traveler's Company pen because it's the only pen that I use that has cartridges. So I have, that should be good. I'm not going to do this to all of these pens, but I'll show you what I do. So, and you have to be careful about doing this too. So you want your heat gun on low. And I'm not telling you to do this. You do this at your own risk. You put your heat gun on low. Let me find something to, let's do this one. No, that'll melt. Let's do something metal. Because it might leak. They're notorious for that. So, heat gun. Low temp. You have to have the dual temp one or this doesn't work. So, oh nice. That just popped right off and made an inky mess all under my fingernail. Oh no. Let me find a tissue. Or I guess I could use my rag. Let me just use my rag. So I try to get this like fairly dry on top. It's just because of how it was filled that. So I refill my syringe, or I syringe refill my my little, these things, cartridges, and I use them in my brass Traveler's Notebook. Traveler's Company. This. I use them in this pen. I love this pen so much. It has like the best nib ever, but I just never think about, I guess I should. This is more of a hassle to do, but I don't mind it, but it just requires so much extra steps. So I tend to not use it a lot. I wish I had a converter for it. But anyway, I buy these. You can buy, I think it's Private Reserve. And they have like, you'll get like 25 and 2 syringes. Now I haven't used these syringes yet. I'm a little nervous. So my other syringes like screw on. And these, I don't know. I couldn't tell. They looked like they just like slid up on there. Yeah. Well, I guess they're okay. They're on there good. Okay. So maybe I will start using them. But anyway, I use syringes to refill my little cartridges and my converters. So yeah, I buy these in what, bulk, I guess, 25 at a time. And you get 2 syringes with it. It wasn't, maybe it was like $9, $10. You can get them on Amazon. Anyway, okay, so while we're here, so I use them for this pen. You can use them like on your Pilot. These are Sailor, I think. Yeah, so these are Sailor. I have a bunch of them because, you know, Sailor. And I have a bunch of Pilot ones too. So refilling it. You can refill it and then you're like, huh, I don't like that color anymore. I want a different color. So you can take this out. And then you can just use your little hot glue gun. You got to use the low temp because the high temp will melt it. But if you just... I mean, like, really, it doesn't take anything. Drip it up on there. It'll seal it. This has been sealed for about 6-8 months. And the ink is still in there and not dried up and not done anything with it. It literally is nothing. I'll show you on an empty one because I don't have another one to do. I thought I had more than that, but that's the only one. But then I just let it sit there to dry. And I mean, you can kind of like push it up against something to make sure that it's kind of filled in the hole. You want to wait until it's a little dry. Actually, maybe I'll just pop that one back off once it dries. We'll just chitty chat for a minute. And I mean, how easy is that? Like, so simple. Like I said, low temp. Don't use high. It will melt this in like a second. And don't touch the metal. Just touch the glue onto the top of this. I don't know if it's dry enough. Yep. So, and then it'll pop back up there to the surface. So, I don't really know why it does that, but I just kind of dab it off so it's dry. so that there's nothing up there to kind of stop it from sealing. And then just take it, and I just plop a little bit of glue on there and that's it, but just don't touch the metal. And make sure the whole thing is covered. And then I just wait until it starts getting a little frosty looking. I'm gonna unplug this so it doesn't keep. I was supposed to make this video like middle of last year. I'm so sorry. But I just wait until it starts getting a little frosty. And then just push it on something metal. Oh, I didn't wait long enough. But it still works. I mean, it's fine. It's all sealed. And then I just look around, make sure that it looks like it's covering the entire... I mean, there's just a little bitty tiny. And then you just have to be careful. I mean, it will come off pretty easy. So, I don't know why I'm trying to put it in my watercolors. So, I just keep it in this little metal tin. And then whenever I want to use that color again, I usually label them. I know that's Ferris Wheel Press Peter Moss, because that was the last ink that I had in this pen. So I know what's in there. I don't think there's anything in here. Man, I got green all over me. I need to ink this pen back up. I love this pen so much. It writes so well for just a nice little fine nib. And it's so nice to carry around, just a little baby pocket. But I do like the green. I don't care as much for the brass. The brass top. I like the, what was it called? I don't remember what that one was called. It was something different. Factory green, I think. Yeah, factory green. So, but that's it. I mean, it's simple. And you can do it with any cartridge. I mean, they all, well, okay, I will say, is it these? Pilots have a weird, these are Sailors. Oh, I think I have a Pilot. Let me see. I do keep a Pilot cartridge. I don't know what to do with it. No, I have my converter in there. So I do keep a Pilot cartridge cleaned out, but they have like this little plastic piece. You can actually pull that plastic piece out and then put it back in. Maybe that's what I did. I might have it around here somewhere. But they're kind of open, so those, I don't know how well they would seal like this because the whole back piece of it's open, and it looks like Sailor's is very similar. These are the only ones I really do that for, but these work for, I believe, Kaweco. Let's see, while we're here. Anything that uses the International Short cartridge. I don't ever use these Kaweco pens. I need to, though. I mean, they're nice pens. They're just really light. But I think these fit. Yeah. I think that's what these use. So you could swap them out on this if you're not too fond of their little bitty tiny cartridge converter, because that thing holds no ink. You can always buy these and use these in your Kaweco. And I don't know, there's a lot of different companies that use the different styles. But I mean, it's just really, oh, I think this is this a, no, this is a platinum. I don't know that I've looked at the platinum. It has a ball, a metal ball. But I still think, as long as you don't get the glue, come on, focus. As long as you don't get the glue down in the ink, which it generally dries pretty quickly, it should be fine. So that's my little hack. If you want to swap out your ink and you have a cartridge and you don't want to waste your cartridge. Because I do like using cartridges and refilling them, because like for the Pilot, you get more ink in that cartridge than you get in the Con 70. So the Con 70, I don't think you can really tell from this, but it holds a lot more ink than the one that I just showed in my Pilot Decimo. It's a Con 40, but this one holds quite a bit more ink. It's a lot thicker. But I don't like this thing either. I don't like trying to clean it. Rinsing it out works okay, just like under running water. But like cleaning it with the push button, because you push the button like several times, it's just hard to get it cleaned that way. So I do like refilling Pilots, but yeah, they have this little plastic tab on the inside of theirs that you can pop out and pull it out with some tweezers, and then you can put it back in and fit it in. I feel like that would make me a little nervous. I might put that back in and then glue the top just because, why not? So anyway, that was my 2 cents for today. I hope you liked this video. A little bit of information, a little bit of pen cleaning, and just some fun things with, you know, different things with fountain pens. So if you have any like specific question, feel free to ask. Leave a comment down below. I'd be happy to find out or figure it out. Or if I already know, I'm going to tell you. Or I'll make a video of it if that's what you want to see. It might take me a while. Like I said, this one, I've been supposed to do this one for a while. And I just didn't have time to film it. So, but I enjoy this stuff. I love fountain pens. I love inky things. And my hands are all green now. And pink. Somehow I got pink. I haven't even touched any pink ink. So I don't know. But I have green everywhere. Anyway, so that is my little hack. So if you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and it would mean the absolute world to me if you consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.